I have it a whole lot easier with it, but yeah, that's fun. Now you do. He corrected me on this, but Randy runs flushing. He doesn't have flushers, but he's kind of like me. I don't think I have any flushers, but I get the opportunity to run with my son. So tell
Yeah,
about that too.
we've helped out Eddie Carbon a couple nationals now running some of his dogs because you can only run so many dogs. And
Right.
So he's got very good dogs that qualify every year. So we've kind of helped him out on the flushing side, shooting for him basically. So it's it's enjoyable no matter what. You're still hunting over dogs, and it's just a blast either way you do it.
Yeah.
So we don't mind doing it, obviously.
It does keep you on your toes to keep up. Now
it's a totally different game, that's for sure.
It's a totally different game.
Yes, it is. It is very different. Those flushing dogs don't really give you any time to get there. They're on their way.
Yeah, you can ask Mr. Kenny.
Yeah, there's nothing better to have a pointer stand there and wait for you to get there.
Right.
Amen. Well, now you and Nate run pointing doubles together, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Sure have. Yep.
Well, I have to ask this question because maybe you can tell me how to handle this. See, my son wants to argue with me all the time about what we're supposed to do in the field, and he won't listen to me. And I keep telling him, if you just listen to me a little bit here, and we can do better with it. But maybe Nate listens a little better than John does, but we have these arguments. The judges laugh at us because we're riding out of the field, sitting on the back of the car and arguing. So, do you have any experiences like that?
It's funny you bring that up because we are notorious for having dynamic discussions in the field while we're running.
I love dynamic. I'm going to use that term.
Dynamic discussions. That's a great way to put it.
It's pretty funny. We both seem to think we know where the birds are, and the dog always proves us wrong.
Absolutely.
So we're if you ask our Pennsylvania friends where we run most of our qualifying stuff, and our Virginia friends, they will say that it's a show normally when we're running.
Well, speaking of one of your Pennsylvania friends, Brandon Tarquinio I think he's rubbing it in a little bit, but
he's definitely rubbing that one in big time.
He's just telling us he's watching from the lodge in South Dakota. Now, wouldn't we all love to be there? But Brandon, thanks for checking in with us. So. I'm
super jealous of all those pictures. I saw Lauren commenting, and I'm like, yeah.
I've seen those too. Randy, this has been great. Any final things you want to throw in here for us? I mean, it's been great to get to know you more, and really for everybody else out there to get to know you too, and to know more about your dogs and you and Nate especially and all.
You guys are doing a great job promoting and getting this out where people can see and hear about the field trialing world that we do, because ours is a little twist from what people normally think about field trialing. So, but people, I would like to just share and let people know that you can bring an average hunting dog into this sport and be competitive and have a great time. I mean, I can tell you, I have had many opportunities driving home thinking to myself, we didn't do so well, but at the end of the day, I was still in the field hunting my dog with my son or with friends that I enjoy every time that we go somewhere. We enjoy going down all the way to Kentucky for the camaraderie, the dog work. It's beautiful country. I can't tell you how much countryside that I've seen running bird dogs. It's done it all with my son. So, but you can bring an average dog off the couch and go and compete and be competitive and have a good time. And at the end of the day, you're still hunting your dog. So that's something that I just want.
Don't we all do it for our children, the time with their children and the dogs? At the end of the day, that's always to watch the dog is the most fun part for me. So that's true. And for everybody listening, and that's so important. Randy and I talked about this probably Saturday, but he made that statement, and I thought that is so true, that really that you can, you don't have to have the highest bred dog in the world to go out and have fun and have some chance of being successful with it. And that's the neat thing about our sport with all of it. Now, Brandon, I'm just passing along a message here now, Randy. Brandon said to tell you he's coming for you, so just be prepared. So sounds
That's
like
why I laughed. I wasn't laughing at your story. I promise. I laughed at Brandon.
he's throwing down the gauntlet. Sounds like here. Well,
Yes.
Nothing less from Brandon. That's
Let's get it. I love a good heated cooking.
there we go.
We love a good competition. We're all very competitive, to say the least. In UFTA, we all have good camaraderie. We have a good fun, but we're all very competitive, especially with one another. But at the end of the day, and I've had to learn, this is the hardest lesson for me to learn, I will say, in UFTA, running dogs, hunting in general. If you're not out there having fun, what's the point of doing it? And I'm very hard on myself. I want to be just as good as Clint. And that's my biggest opposition against myself is I need to be the best Haley can be. I need to do the best, and I need to have fun, because if I'm not, what's the point of doing it? I need to enjoy my dog. And I've learned that, and I've gotten better from it, I think. And I think what you've said, just like about the dog and other stuff like that, it really brings light that you're the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Well, listen, we won't keep you. Thank you again for time. It's been a pleasure. We see you've been slightly successful with a little bit of hardware there in behind you, and I see that Kentucky Open trophy right back over your left shoulder there too. Now wait a minute. Now the Kentucky blue shows out. I have to tell you, so that stands out back there. So thanks for being with us. We look forward to seeing you at a trial soon, and again, we just appreciate your time.
Oh, no, thanks for having me, guys. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you so much, Randy.
All right.
All
All
right.
right.
See you guys next one.
All right.
Thanks.
Sounds good. Talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Excellent. That was so interesting. I just hope everybody else enjoyed it and learned as much as I did with it. So I just thought when he told me the story that he drove 10 hours to come to Kentucky Open, I thought people need to hear this.
Absolutely.
This is who we are in this business, because we have fun.
Absolutely.
We keep saying this. We have fun running our dogs. We have fun around each other. And you're not driving 10 hours if you don't have that. So.
Absolutely.
All right. I want to switch here a little bit. I was sort of teasing in that I was back in charge of the controls again this weekend, because last week we had hiccups with Facebook, and it was what I learned was Facebook was having outages in Nashville. But there's a reason we do this. We could, we kind of roll with it. One, we could record all these and sort of put them out there. It takes a little more equipment to be able to record and splice and do all of that. So, but one of the reasons that we just did it is that Haley, it's the audience interaction. I mean, Brandon is in South Dakota and puts in comments, and we can relay that to Randy or talk with Randy about it. And we love the participation for everybody with it.
And that was one of the things that Randy said that he liked the most, is that we didn't record it. It wasn't edited. This was raw. This was real life. It was us. In real life, there's technical difficulties, and it happened. It wasn't even us. It was legitimately Facebook.
Right.
Nothing we could do about it. And that was one of his main things he told us last week about it, was that he loved that it was just raw, real, and just us. What you see is what you get. And that's how I am. I know that's how you are. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy the interaction. I love being able to laugh at the audience. I love when people say, hey, or we're looking good, or we sound great, and congratulations. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and of course, I'm sure there are one or two people know that I'm liable to screw something up, so they're watching to wait for it's going to happen. But in real life, I do. They see me do it in too many trials, so they know if I'm on here with this, it's going to happen again. But it is because we want the connection with everybody out there, and even those sitting in their favorite chair, as Don just told me, that's enjoying it. That's okay. we want to do that. We touched on this last week, and because we had to record and do all of it, then we kind of put it off a week. One of the things we'd like to do is do a poll, ongoing. It may or may not be each week, and the first one we want to put out there for everybody to participate in with us. The first one was that I think we'll do is about the retail outdoor stores and the ones that provide, the best selection of hunting gear and apparel. And so if you have some thoughts, anybody out there, put them in the comments and we'll work on and put that poll together. But things like, I don't know, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's is one. I know, Haley, you have some that you have buy from.
I love Kevin's and other stuff. So just your favorite retail store. With women, it's a little different. It's harder. You got to find some either hole in the wall stuff or a special company. You're probably going to pay a little more for it, but you're paying for quality, so it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if you have some of those thoughts, we'll put some of that out there. Talk about them next week on the show. And let's see where we go next. You all have a special weekend this weekend. Tell us about it.
We certainly do. So this weekend is the WWVC, our 8th annual WWVC Veterans Appreciation Pheasant Hunt. We talked about this briefly a couple weeks ago. This is our tower shoot that's dedicated specifically to our veterans, and it's more so to our local veterans, which is awesome. We have, I think, 30 veterans coming.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome. We have sponsors. I think I counted 12 or 14 sponsors are all on the back of our shirt. I posted on our Facebook today. We had a phenomenal turnout. And to me, in these unforeseen circumstances of 2020, to say the least, I think this is going to be our best veterans pheasant hunt we've ever had. Oh, and I really hope that it turns out that way, like from the screen side of talking to people and correlating the veterans and sponsors, it seems that way. So I hope that Saturday everyone truly shows up and that we have a wonderful time. Everyone has truly busted their butt, and I really, really think that it's going to be amazing ordeal. We've had some awesome sponsors show up that has never sponsored before, and this year we have more veterans that have never participated before that we didn't even know that were here in the Wiregrass and that are going to be participating this year, which is awesome for us. It's awesome for them because we want them to be recognized. We want to thank them. They put their life on the line for our freedom, and that's incredible. And we just are very fortunate that we are able to put on this event, and a very small gratitude that we have for them.
Perfect. Well, excellent. Well, we'll look forward to hearing about that next week, the successful outcome of that, or conclusion, or whatever the right word is there.
Oh,
or the successful fun that everybody has. That probably is a better word for it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, tell me about, you did pretty good at the Kentucky Open too.
Well, I got a little bit of luck along the way, so let me just say that. But I will, before I get into the Kentucky Open, the queen of the kennel, as y'all have heard her called, Lexi, did finish fourth. And she had a little luck, and she pulled a couple of things there that when they get that age, they're smart enough to do, and kind of helped drug me along, as I like to say. But yeah, we had a good Kentucky Open. We had a great time. I had somebody say this about it, that it was the first time they'd been there, maybe ever, but a long time. And they talked to me yesterday or the day before, and they were talking about how hospitable everybody was and how welcome they felt and how much fun they had. Now, it was a lot of competition, 50 open pointing dogs and 27 amateur dogs, I think, and if I get all these numbers exactly right, and 17 flushing. I didn't see the finals on the flushing, but yeah, it was tough because the days were so vastly different, as Randy just told us earlier. So we did, but we were quite pleased to manage a fourth place finish. Let me kind of go through here. I'm about to tell you how fast how close it was. The
Right.
open pointing, Randy Hilligus did win it with Trooper, as we talked about, did a great job. Hardy Jaggers was second with Ruger, and Larry Reed was third with Daz. But here's how, and what I have to say this, I'm a little bit, and Lexi and Larry's Daz dog tied on points, and Larry beat me out on time. But it was nothing like Randy and Hardy tied, but Randy beat Hardy by 1 second.
Wow.
So if you want to talk about it being tight, sometimes it was tight. And
That's what makes the most fun. That's
oh yeah.
I think it's super exciting.
That what that creates is drives home where you start to think about where could I made that 1 second or 30 seconds up and things like that. You know, what could I do a little bit better with it? So
Absolutely.
it was competitive, but it was competitive way on down to it wasn't just 1 or 2 dogs and no one else close.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we didn't have a trial this past weekend, but we did the weekend before. And let me tell you who showed up and showed out.
Oh,
Don Bradshaw, Clint's dad. He came, and Saturday on the Open, he got first and third. He got first with Banks, second was Valley with Clint, and third was Grace with Mr. Don. And not only did he do well in the Open, he also got second in the doubles on Saturday.
wow.
So first place, Clint was first with Valley. Mr. Don was second with Grace, and I had third with Rose. And this was that one, that I said I stumbled across. I started talking about this, and I didn't finish because, I walked out there. I walked out of the field, and I was like, man, I'm in top 3. And then by the end of the day, I was like, oh my gosh, my shot bird points, I'm at 5th now. That's how close, just like the Kentucky, that's just how close it was. We had great competition, and it got really competitive. And then that Sunday, the Open was Cross Payne with Creek, Cross Payne with Blitz in second place, and then Jonathan Thomas in third with Jazz. The doubles on Sunday was first place Creek, Cross Payne, second place Blitz, Cross Payne, and third place Shiloh with Matthew Thomas.
All right. I had to tell y'all this. Hardy just said he said I want to recount on time. Hardy, I think you might want to check David Pike's thumb. He might be a little slow on the stopwatch there with it. So that's what I'd blame it on if I were you. So, well,
that's awesome.
So Dunny did. Dunny was smoking then last weekend. That's good.
Let me tell you, he was.
Well, I mean, he's got to hold it up for all of us old guys. He's got to be sure all those young whippersnappers y'all down there just remembers that we're still here. So.
That's right. Hey, he did a dang good job last weekend, I'm telling you. And he can. He always can. He shot well, and the dogs absolutely did their part last week. And he ran kind of early, too, so the conditions were wonderful for him.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Good deal. Let me quickly go back to, I'm going to go back, just going to finish Kentucky Open. There were 2 amateur trials. The Saturday trial, David Robinson won with Izzy. Craig Carby won with Chip. And Josh Wilson won with Otis. Then on Sunday, Robert Russell won with Rock. Kevin Kuiper with Zeke, and A.J. Lucas with Diamond. And all that's going to tighten up an awful lot of high points.
Absolutely.
So let's look. Speaking of that, let's look at it. Where are we on Flushing? What's Flushing look like?
Flushing has not updated since last week. I know that there's been several trials turned in, but it's still, I'll say the top 3 hasn't changed. It has updated. From 4th and below, it has changed a little bit, and it's hugging tight from 3rd. But Open first, high points is still Thor with Eddie Carbon. Second with Midas with Eddie Carbon. 3rd is Dakota with Don Hunter. And doubles Flushing is first and second. That's Thor and Hercules, both Eddie Carbon's dogs. And 3rd is still Creek with Cross Payne.
Cool. Open pointing. Again, this is as of this morning because obviously the Kentucky Open is not added here. Randy is in first place with Holler. Brandon is in second with Stella. Brett Bill is in third place with Dixie. But if I added this right, which that's a little bit of a question, Randy and Trooper are going to move up into that top 3 list after this the win this weekend.
All right.
Trent Pike is still in first with Turbo. David Trigg is, as of this morning, again with Bodie is in second, and Kevin Pixley with Cap is in third. But Robert Russell was in fourth, and he won the trial on Sunday, so he's going to move up in that. And again, if my calculations were correct, he's going to get within about 20 points or so, or 30 of Trent. So we have a race going here all of a sudden.
That's what I was thinking, was second at least. So that big of a trial, that's some good numbers. That's a good trial to win.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Because the numbers are so big.
Absolutely.
And then let me look here. I'm back on my list. On pointing doubles. Then the Randy with Karma and Trooper, Randy and Nate moved into first place with that. So we did have a change there.
Wow.
With it. And Bo and Mags, which are owned by Butch White, are now in second place. And then Maddie, owned by Mark McVeigh, and Murphy, owned by Doc Mash, is in third place. So we've had some movement, and suspect we'll have a little bit more certainly as trials get started, and
Absolutely.
and they all get put in. I know it's at this time of year. There's so many results getting put in. It takes a little bit to get all that done, but
right. And real quick, I'm gonna give a big thank you, y'all. Us Up to people. We've got to give it to our board members. I mean, they do an excellent job. Miss Mary and Frank and all of them, they put up with a lot from everybody, and they handle it with such grace. They really do. They do such a great job, and thank y'all for dealing with us and getting those results in as quick as you do, and reminding us to get them in faster. And we just are very appreciative of y'all.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I laugh at Frank now because when I call him, he says, "Okay, what do you want now?" Because he knows I've always got a question.
Yep.
So the board members, I've learned a lot about this organization and running in it and all of that. I'll ask Frank. I ask Clay or Joey or a number of other people on the board, and they're always been very helpful with it. But you're right. Frank and Mary do a great job with just keeping up and everything. So, okay, upcoming. Why don't you tell us where we're flushing trials for next week?
All right. So, like I said earlier, here at the house at Shiloh Kennels and Shooting Preserve, Saturday we have our WWC hunt, so we don't have a trial then. Have an awesome event, but we will follow up Sunday with a trial. We have 2 open and 2 doubles here. And then it looks like Stick Lake also has some pointing we'll let you talk about, as well as some flushing. They have 2 open flushing there as well, and you can contact Mike McClendon to get in on that.
Yep. Yeah. And they do pointing at Stick Lake also. If you know, that's just north of Birmingham. It's sort of in between I-65 and 59. So everybody kind of knows where that is. Illinois Open is this weekend. It's in Mount Carmel, Illinois. My crew is headed there, so we'll have a report next weekend from that one. Then at Mountain Memories, which is in Jefferson, North Carolina, pointing trial. And then they're at the North Georgia Pointing Club in Carnesville, Georgia. It's a money trial there. So again, so that will be a big trial and a good trial for all of us.
Absolutely.
Haley, I think we've kind of had a great time with Randy, kind of gone through our list, and I think we're ready to wind up and call it a night. But be sure, as Haley said, like us on Facebook. Get your friends to like us. We want to hit that 500 mark. So we're just really excited and so grateful for all of you that that listen and view it afterwards. The number of views that happen after we finished is kind of unbelievable to us.
It is.
Yeah. So.
And another thing, if you have any recommendations, you have something you want to know about flushing, pointing, UFTA, field trials, anything that we talk about, ask us. We can add it to a poll. We can elaborate on our next show. If you want to know how to join, how to get involved, where to come to, any of that, please feel free. Like Kenny said about the stores, let us know some recommendations on stores. Let us know recommendations on our next show. Let us know on who you want to hear as our special guest next. We might take you up on that consideration.
Absolutely. I mean, if you have questions, put them in the comments, put us in for a guest. Absolutely. That's no question. That's why we do it live and why I get to punch the buttons.
He's getting better, y'all.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us. Join us next week on Thursday, 7:30 Central Time on Field Trialing with
Haley and
Kenny.
bye, y'all.
Bye. All right, hold on. I have us off of, I think. I have us off.
Yep, it's off.
Okay, we're off Facebook. Let me kind of get a couple of things out of the way here.
478 views.
How many?
478.
Already?
Already.
Wow.
9 comments, 15 shares, 478 views, 12 likes on the video.
Well, I am so. Randy just came back. I don't know if he ever got off or not. Randy did a great job, by the way.
Yeah, he did. He's like, he'd always been on it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was great, and it was perfect. I got people texting me saying, best show yet. I know Don cooked in and said we were getting smoother.
Yeah, that made me giggle.
It runs just a little smoother whenever everything works. I'm not anxious, but no, it really did good. It flowed like I think I envisioned that both of us did when we started it. I thought it was excellent, and and all. So I'm thinking about. I haven't called, but what do you think about having Lauren on next week?
Well, absolutely. That's what I was thinking too. The only thing is they travel so much. I know that she was home this weekend, so I don't know if she'll be home next weekend too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll ask her. It's okay. Yeah, I'll ask her because I really
absolutely.
I have 2 people lined up for us, and we're gonna talk to this. One is.
Hey, you're still recording the Zoom if you want to stop that.
I am.